Level. And today, we're going to be sharing from one of the pillars of what Next Level is really all about. Because when I started this podcast, there's really a theme of three different things that I feel like have been the biggest pillars of building on to achieve success in my life over the last 20 years. And these are the three areas that I continually try to grow in. And so, those areas are mindset, number one, health, number two, and belief, number three. Because, as human beings, we really are mind, body, and spirit, and everything affects everything. So the mind, affects the body affects the mind. And then, a lot of times I like to explain to people that, you are not your body. You have a body that we live in, but you are not your body. Okay. We are eternal beings. And I believe, have a soul, a spirit, that we live in this body, this earth suit, so to speak. So, but everything affects everything. And a lot of times people, I think, compartmentalize things. And when the reality, meaning that they just pay attention to maybe things about mindset or health or spirituality, belief, things like that, faith, and they don't realize that it all affects each other. A lot of times I'll ask people, do you think that that your thoughts can make you sick? And almost everybody would agree, yes, your thoughts can make you sick. So that's an example of the mind, okay, which is separate than the body, the mind making the body physically sick. Because, you may have, experienced this in your own life where, a lot of anxiety or worry causes your stomach to get upset. Okay, that's a very simple, common piece of it, but you could take that to many other levels. But so then I'll pose the question, and this is where it kind of shakes up their belief system. The first one I'll ask is, do you believe that your thoughts can make you sick? And almost everybody will be like, yeah, because they've done that before. They've worried themselves sick. Okay, that's a statement. But then I'll pose the question, well, if that's true, then don't you think that your thoughts could make you well? That our thoughts have the ability to heal and make you physically better? Well, it's absolutely true, or else the first part would not be true. So that just gives you an example how everything is connected. Everything affects everything, and you can't compartmentalize your life in such a way where you don't think that this thing over here is not going to affect this thing over here. It's all connected. So if you've ever seen the movie, or it's not a movie, it's the TV show where the kid, he's always saying it's all connected. It really is. Everything is all connected. So mindset, health, belief. If you work on all three, if you're growing all three, then you're going to go to another level. Okay. But if you only focus on one, you're going to be limited. But if you're growing in all three areas, it's like just this magnification of growth of you going to another level in life. So your health affects your mindset affects your health, it affects your belief affects your health, your belief affects your mindset. Today, we're talking about health. And I'm going to give you principles that me and my wife, Heather, apply. And they're things that we've learned over the years. We've been very fortunate to learn from some incredible people about health. That's really, a lot of it, very simple and basic. But a lot of times, these powerful things about health are principles that God put here that have been here for so long. And we're just not paying attention to them. And some of it's just knowledge. And, I like to say advice matters. So you got to pay attention in every area of life to people that are achieving success, and listen, pay attention, because success leaves clues. So these are things that Heather and I, we apply in our life. And because of it, I would say that, both of us are in pretty good shape physically. Okay. I would say I'm proud of how we pay attention to taking care of our bodies and our health. And, we're in pretty good shape physically, really not on all these tons of medications and pharmaceuticals like so many people are on. And, well into our 40s, we've been able to maintain a level of fitness and health by just doing some very basic things and not living in an extreme sort of way. There was a point in our life where when Heather and I started learning a lot of these things about health, particularly naturopathic, homeopathic, all natural, we really lean towards that, but we also pay attention to modern medicine because I think there's a place for both. That would be considered a term called integrative health, which if you've never heard of that really is the future. Integrative health is the combination of all the modern science that we have with the truths and the principles of these things about health that God put here, that things that grow out of the earth, everything that God gave us for our health, and just basic principles like what I'm going to be talking about today. And I'm going to tell you this, a lot of times people are looking for, these either modern medicine, or they're looking for these, radical programs to change their health, to take their health to the next level, when really there's some basic things you can do that will transform your health. If you listen to what I'm going to share with you today and you start applying some of these things, you're going to see a difference in your health. And, Heather and I, for us, it's about, there's two different areas of health that I think are important to most people, that they might say it's about, oh, I really want to be like super healthy and I care about this, and that, when really it boils down to about two things that if we really look at the top of priorities, and it's people want to look good. Okay. That's why people will do anything to lose weight, even if it's unhealthy. People want to look good and they want to feel good. Okay. Because if you wake up in the morning and you walk in the bathroom and you look in the mirror, okay, full length mirror. I encourage you to do this today. Find a full length mirror and just get naked. Get naked in front of that full length mirror. Okay. And it's going to tell you the truth, whether you like it or not. But when you look in that full length mirror, completely naked, people want to look good. Okay. Number two, they want to feel good. And I would say feeling good even trumps looking good. If I can help someone feel better, they'll start doing the things to look better physically, the fitness. And we're not, my wife and I, we don't put a ton of just prioritizing that, looking good and fitness is the most important thing. No, your health is the most important thing. Your long-term health of taking care of this body is the most important thing. But yes, we want to look good. We want to look in shape. That's why we do these things and lift weights and things like that. But also we want to feel good. And that is, I think, the most important thing, because if you feel good, it's like everything else starts to fall into line. So today I'm going to give you 9 things for looking good, feeling good. If you pay attention to these with your health, then you're going to be amazed at how simple some of these things will take your fitness to another level, and take how you feel to another level. And it's simple. So let's dive in. Number 1. I picked this one to start off with number 1 because some people are, for this, some people are very against it, but it has to do with a substance, a drug, and it is the word caffeine. Okay. So yes. And people say, oh, caffeine is a drug. Absolutely. Caffeine is a drug. But what you got to understand is there's a lot of what we would call drugs. Okay. Because a drug is really anything you introduce into the body that elicits these responses that either, enhance things. We could go down that whole rabbit hole. There's a whole, way of defining that. But the reality is caffeine is a drug. And there's a lot of things that we would consider drugs that God put here to benefit us, that God put here also as medicines. Okay. And that's a whole nother conversation, because I think we demonize a lot of things and we criminalize a lot of things that God meant for good. Okay. That he put here. He said, every seed bearing plant I give to you. Okay, so he put all this stuff here for our benefit. So, but caffeine being one of those. So, caffeine is something that if you use it in the right way, this can enhance your health. It can enhance your life. 73% of Americans start their day with caffeine, with a cup of coffee, or, some people drink energy drinks, things like that. But once you learn how to utilize caffeine the right way, it's going to take your health to another level because number one, caffeine is a thermogenic. Okay. It doesn't just enhance the brain and give you alertness, allow you to focus. It does a lot of different things. It carries nutrients across the blood-brain barrier. Okay. So the blood-brain barrier is, I don't want to get too scientific, but our brain, you can ingest tons of nutrients, but there's only certain things that will cross the blood-brain barrier and feed the brain. Caffeine is one of them, okay? God designed it that way. So it crosses that barrier, but it's also a carrier. It will carry nutrients. That's why, the coffee that I drink, it actually has cordyceps in it, which is a healthy mushroom that has a host of benefits from immune system, builds my immune system, gives me alertness, cognition, just all kinds of health benefits. You can go Google about cordyceps, but the caffeine actually carries the cordyceps across the blood-brain barrier, and man, you just feel amazing. So caffeine is an awesome, awesome substance that I think, everybody should be figuring out how to use that and using it wisely, using it multiple times a day at the right amounts to increase your productivity, to increase your alertness, to be present for the people in your life. So, so I start my day with caffeine, then I'll do, and that's usually, it's a healthy energy drink. Then usually mid-morning, I'm having my coffee, my mushroom coffee. Then I'm usually doing another dose of caffeine in the afternoon, mid-afternoon, because after you eat lunch, a lot of people hit that, that 2:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon dip where you just feel like junk. And some people either want to take a nap, or what a lot of Americans do is when they hit that, because what's happened is you've eaten lunch, most people are eating too much carbohydrates. I'm going to get into that here in a minute. And this happens also at breakfast. Most Americans eat sugar and carbs for breakfast. So after a meal, 2 or 3 hours later, you feel the blood sugar spikes, you feel sleepy. And again, that's where caffeine can come in. If you'll do another cup of coffee, a healthy energy drink, if you're doing energy drinks, and then I'm going to touch on thermogenics here in a second, but caffeine can be used in a way to improve your life and your productivity. So instead of when your blood sugar crashes and because it spiked and then you feel like junk and then it crashes and you're looking for, more sugar or more junk food or things like that. That's what a lot of people reach to. Before that blood sugar crash, when you start to get sleepy after those carbohydrates kick in, if you'll go ahead and get some coffee, go ahead and get a healthy energy drink, get some caffeine in your body, it's going to carry you through that. And you're not going to notice that blood sugar crash. Okay. Also just reducing too much simple sugar and carbs will stop that blood sugar crash in the afternoon is where most people get hit. But if you know how to use caffeine the right way, then you're going to increase your productivity. You're going to be more focused, alert. And, I love caffeine. I use it all day long. Now, the one thing I'm going to say is some people say, well, Jared, I can't take caffeine. Have you ever heard anyone say that? I can't do caffeine. Here's the reality. That is not true. The reality is everybody can do caffeine, but it's the amount. Okay. 100 milligrams of caffeine might be right for me. On the other extreme end, 10 milligrams of caffeine might be good for someone else. And you think about 10 milligrams of caffeine, that's probably what you would get in a half of a Hershey's bar of chocolate. Okay. And there's some people that's just enough because they're so sensitive to caffeine, they can only do a little bit. So what I've noticed over the years is instead of just, oh no, I can't use it at all. No, you can, but we might need to find a very, very, very subtle dose for you, and it's going to increase your productivity. But sometimes you got to work with that to find the right amount for you. Some people, it's 200 milligrams. They need a lot. And it's not about body weight. Some people think when it comes to this type of substance that it's about body weight. It has nothing to do with whether you weigh 250 pounds or 80 pounds. What it has to do is your metabolic processing of the caffeine. Okay, some people process it very differently than other things. And that's the way all of us are with all different types of substances and food. So using caffeine can change your life if you learn how to use it at the right times, the right amounts. And along with that, I'm going to say even adding in something called thermogenics. Okay, what is a thermogenic? Well, usually a thermogenic comes in the form of a capsule. I think there's some drinks out there too, but it's a formula of different types of caffeine properties. Okay, because caffeine is a broad spectrum, and there's a lot of different types of caffeines. And there's some plants out there that produce, and herbs that produce caffeine properties. I'll give you an example, guarana seed extract. Okay, I take a supplement that has guarana seed extract. That is a specific type of caffeine property. It's not like the synthetic androus caffeine that you're going to find in soda pops, even Folgers coffee. They spray it with androus caffeine. So I use that as a thermogenic. What is a thermogenic? A thermogenic is a type of caffeine property that turns up the heat. It turns up the heat in the body, hence the term thermo. Okay, it generates thermogenesis, okay, turning up the heat, which helps burn fat. So if you're, you can use caffeine, you can use thermogenics. Just send me a DM if you want to know about what type of thermogenic I use, my wife and I, but it's a cheat code. Okay. It's a hack to burning fat, to keeping in shape, using thermogenics. And again, the thermogenics, in addition to the caffeine, it's got to be taken at the right time. So I take a thermogenic capsule immediately when I wake up to get my metabolism going, 30 minutes before I eat my breakfast. Okay. And I do it with my caffeine right when I wake up. I also take a thermogenic capsule. And then I do it again mid-afternoon. Again, why? We hit that crash. So if you see me at 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you're going to see me getting some more caffeine, another thermogenic supplement in my body. So I keep my metabolism going. I keep burning fat all day long. Okay, so caffeine. Number 2 pillar of health here is move. MOVE. You have to move. Okay. If you want to be healthy, you've got to get up off your butt, get off the couch. You have to move. Okay. And I'm going to tell you there's 4 keys to moving, because I think when you start to understand why we do these things, why is it important to move, then you'll understand, you'll actually get out there and do it, because people have told you just need to exercise, you need to do this, and you're not fully aware of the basics and the fundamentals of moving, what actually is happening in the body and what it affects and why. So 4 different areas and reasons that you need to move. Number 1 is blood flow. Okay. Blood flow is essential to your health. And yes, the heart pumps and it causes the blood to flow. But the reality, we've kind of been lied to by science and by them telling you that, oh, the heart just is a pump. The reality is it's kind of true. The heart is really a valve. Okay. It's more of a valve than a pump, regulating the movement of the blood. Yes, it's pumping, but it's valves, okay, is how it's working. And it's distributing blood and carrying oxygen, nutrients to every single cell in your body, including your brain, which affects your mental health. Okay, that's why sometimes people, they just get out and start going for a walk every day, and all of a sudden their mental health improves. Okay, the depression lifts, the anxiety resides. Why? Because blood flow, you're getting and moving. Okay, so you got to get out and move, even if it's just for a walk. Every day you need to move So if you're not moving every day right now, I would say this: go for a walk. Do it after dinner. Do it after breakfast. Okay, get out and move. Blood flow, number one. Here's number two: lymphatic flow. Okay, your heart, the pump and the valves are pumping that blood whether you move or not. Okay, way better when you're moving. Lymph fluid. You haven't been taught this in school. They don't teach us this. They teach us about all the crap and the false history, the wars, all of that. But they don't teach you about your own human body, that the lymphatic system, okay, is scattered through your body, and there's lymph fluid, and that lymph fluid will not move unless you move. It doesn't have a valve. It doesn't have a pump pumping it. So you've got to move, okay? And so things like squats, things like jumping, okay, that's why some people, they haven't jump roped. They haven't jump roped. I guess I don't know if I said that right or not. They haven't swung. You know, that's why people get in a swing, and they haven't done that in 20 years, and they get sick. They get nauseous. Okay, they jump up and down and they get nauseous. Why? Because their lymph fluid hasn't moved in so long. It's stagnant. And we wonder why cancer is rampant. Okay, the next one, so you got to move to get the lymph fluid moving. The next one is deep, heavy breathing. When you move, you're getting this deep, heavy breathing when you go out and walk. And did you know there's toxins that will not leave your body unless you get deep, heavy breathing in? You've got to get deep, heavy breathing in every day, and you're going to notice, oh my gosh, my head feels clear. So blood flow, lymphatic movement in the body, deep, heavy breathing, and number 4, sweating. Okay, if you haven't sweat in the last 48 hours, you need to get out and sweat. Okay, there's certain toxins that will not leave your body, but only through the sweat glands. So sweating is one of the most healthiest things that you can do. So you got to get out there and move the blood, move the lymph, get the deep, heavy breathing in, and sweat. And you will be amazed at what doing this just 15 minutes a day, what happens to your health, and you start go to the next level, and it affects everything, right? Because everything affects everything. Okay, so that's caffeine, number 1. Number 2, move. Number 3, you need to lift weights. Okay, and I'm going to tell you this. So there's been this thing in our culture of where it seems like men lean more towards lifting weights and women lean more towards cardio, when, get this, guess what the latest science is saying, is that women need weightlifting and weight bearing working out more than men in order to be healthy. Why? Because their bones are more prone to osteoporosis as they age. The number 1 fat burner, ladies, in the world is lean muscle tissue. So the more muscle you build, the more fat you burn. And you know, you've kind of been lied to that, oh, you need to go run, you need to go do all this cardio, when the reality, you want to know a cheat code? You want to know how a lot of women look so fit? They lift weights, ladies. And so I don't care if you've got 30 pounds to lose or 150 pounds, the number 1 thing you should start doing, other than just moving, is lifting weights. Okay. And so if you've never done that before, hire a trainer, go online and YouTube it. There's so much resources and information out there, and start doing some lifting weights of basic things. Okay. So, because if you lift, you're going to build that lean muscle tissue. It's a cheat code. You will meet people that look fit, okay, and in shape and healthy, and they don't do that much cardio. A lot of times they don't work out that much, but when they do, they're lifting heavy weights. Okay, so you know all the celebrity women. You know, you go ask their trainer what they're doing. You know, to look so in shape, to look so fit, they're lifting heavy weights. Okay, way more than they're doing cardio, running, things like that. So lift weights. Number 4, water. Okay, your body needs water. Most of the earth is made of water. I think that's a hint to us. Most of our body is water. It works on electrical impulses. Water makes everything work. And most of us are not getting enough water. A lot of us are not getting the right kind of water. So you should be drinking about 1 gallon of water a day at least. Okay, and you need clean, pure water. The The city tap water coming out of our sinks, it's got to be filtered. Okay. You also need to be replacing electrolytes in there because, unless you are on a well, okay, here at my house, I have a well that goes down into the ground, but then it goes through a filtration system that's multiple filters to get it out, and it comes in the house. We have a whole house filter system. Then it comes in the house, and we have another filter that it goes through. But guess what we're doing? We're adding in some sea salt. We're adding in some electrolyte powder to most of our water when we're just drinking the water. So you got to drink water. Drink more water. There's actually a book out there called The Water Cure, where a gentleman just all he did with all these different chronic health issues is he got people drinking more water. Just drink water all day long. You have a headache, drink water. Okay? So, and just watch what happens. You don't feel so good, drink water. So, in fact, if you'll drink a glass, weight loss, there's a whole diet out there where this guy made millions and millions of dollars, okay? Just teaching people to drink a full glass of water before every meal. Because then when they sat down, they weren't so starving, because a lot of times you're just dehydrated and you think you're hungry. No, you're dehydrated. Drink more water. You're flushing out toxins. So important. One of the other pillars is salt. Now, what I want you to understand is you have been lied to about salt and sodium. And when you look at regular table salt, they've stripped it of all the good things. And it's not that healthy for you, but it's better than no salt. And so the reality is salt is essential to human health. Do you know that in ancient cultures, salt was actually used as currency? Okay, because it has so much value. Now, and when we talk about, I was just talking about water, and we talk about hydration. Hydration is really more about salt than it is water. Okay, and getting the right balance of electrolytes and minerals from the salt to be hydrated. And when you are fully hydrated and your electrolyte balance is correct, you feel great. The opposite of that is when your electrolyte balance is extremely off, you can die. So that's how powerful salt is. So the two main places that I recommend people get salt from, and these are, one of them is a brand, and it's called Real Salt. Just Google Real, REAL, salt. This comes from ancient salt beds. And this salt is almost sweet. It doesn't taste like table salt. It's full of minerals. It's all different colors. You can buy a little, shaker of it online for, probably less than $7, or get a big bag of it. Put it on everything. Be liberal with that salt. Okay. You've been lied to. Salt, when it's in its correct form of what we should be consuming, is absolutely essential for your health and feeling good and performing good. So another one is gray Celtic sea salt. Okay. So what I've found, and I've researched salt. I've studied a lot of people that are salt experts, and the gray Celtic sea salt or the real salt, we keep both in our house. We keep the gray Celtic sea salt in, grinders, and we grind that and put it on all of our food. And then we keep the real salt as well, because they're both great. And I'm like, well, which one's better? They're both good. And so it's food. Salt is food. It's something God put here that is for your body. And if you're not getting enough of the right salt with the right electrolyte balance, you're not going to feel good. You're not going to perform good. Your health is not going to be at that next level. So get the right salt, start putting it on everything, get it in your body. I know people that put it in their water all the time that they're drinking all day long, especially if you're working outside where you're sweating a lot. You got to get good salt. So the next pillar is so huge, and it is this. It is prioritize protein. Most people do not prioritize protein. When you go look at fitness competitors, when you go look at bodybuilders, when you go look at, a celebrity, an actress, a singer, someone like Carrie Underwood, who's just in incredible shape and has a, 2 or 3 full-time personal trainers, I guarantee you that they're putting their diet together for them. They're prioritizing protein. And I can teach you how to do this because most people do not have an eating problem with consuming too much food. Now, you're going to say, well, wait, Jared, calories in, calories out. You're right. But here's the thing. Protein has so much less calories based on volume of food than all these other junk foods, things that are bad for you. So the reality is if you just change what you're eating, okay, you can eat just as much. Most people, there's very few people that are severely overeating. They're just eating the wrong foods. They're not eating the right amounts of the right foods. You have to prioritize protein. This is a cheat code for me because I like to eat. Heather and I don't eat perfect, but we're pretty fit. We're pretty in shape. What do? We prioritize protein. Now, what does that mean? I'm about to tell you how to prioritize protein. This will change your life. You will start to burn fat. You will start to see results. If sometimes people are even working out hard and they're not getting results because they're not prioritizing protein. You don't have an overeating problem. You have a undereating protein problem. Okay. So there's nothing wrong with bread as long as you're, don't have an allergy, a gluten allergy. Of course, now they have gluten-free breads. There's nothing wrong with bread. What's wrong with bread and your diet is how much of it you eat and how little of protein you eat. So it shouldn't be 2 thick slices of bread like this and this much protein in the middle. It should be this much protein in the middle and 2 thin slices of bread. That's a sandwich. Why? Because it's prioritizing protein. So here's how you prioritize protein. When you sit down to eat breakfast, what you're going to ask yourself is, and what you're going to think is, where is my protein? How much of it am I getting? And then, so whether that's some eggs, whether that's a protein shake, and then I'm looking for other things that I eat with it. But if I don't have protein as at least 50% or more of my meal, of that's what I'm eating, it's not a good meal. Okay. So lunch, then we go to lunch. Okay. My sandwich, or if I'm eating out, I'm prioritizing protein. Is the majority of what the calories I'm getting on my plate protein? That's how you prioritize protein. Dinner. So when I go to a restaurant, my wife and I, and we pick up the menu, the main thing we're looking at when I'm looking at things is protein. Is it going to be red meat? Is it going to be chicken? Is it going to be fish? Is it going to be shrimp? And then what we'll do a lot of times, even in how we order, we'll just double the protein portion. Okay? And then, I don't need all those sides. I don't need this. I don't need that. No, I need protein. Okay? That's a cheat code to staying fit. Is you don't have an overeating problem. You have an undereating protein problem. You should be getting at least 1 gram of protein per body weight. If you want to, again, build lean muscle, which is the #1 fat burner, men and women, then if I weigh 200 pounds, I need to be eating 200 grams of protein. Ladies, if you weigh 150 pounds, you need to be eating 150 grams of protein. When you do that, you're not going to be hungry for all these other calories because you're getting 150 grams of protein that is filling you up. So we talked about breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Let's talk about snacks. So that's why if you come to my house, you go open the pantry, my wife always has all this protein snacks. So whether it's beef sticks or, whatever it is, or even, she even orders like these, the Quest protein potato chips. They're not there's not potatoes, I don't think, in there. It's protein. Okay. So breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, prioritize protein. It will change your life, and you'll start to see why some people are able to stay fit and healthy and maintain lean muscle and burn fat, and they're not crazy fitness workout people. No, they're prioritizing protein, and they're putting these other pillars of health as a priority. Here's the next one. Minerals. Okay, minerals. Minerals are huge. Again, we've been lied to. when they say, okay, you need vitamins, vitamins, vitamins. Listen, we get most of our vitamins from the things that we eat. Okay. There's some things that you need to supplement vitamins for, but they haven't told you the truth. Okay. Because they want you sick. Why? You're more profitable when you're sick to the pharmaceutical industry. You're easier to control by the elites when you're sick. So they want you sick. They don't want to tell you the truth. The truth is that you need minerals. If I take all the minerals out of your body right now, you're dead. You cannot survive without minerals. And most people are eating food that has no minerals in it. And so you have to supplement minerals. So for me personally, my wife and I, our family, our kids, we take a mineral supplement. Okay, there's vitamins in there too. Yes, but I'm taking it because of the minerals that I'm getting. Every human function in the body depends on minerals. Your heart, your brain, your kidneys, your lymphatic system, your digestive tract, and the gut. It all depends on minerals. So I take a liquid mineral, ionic mineral supplement that has vitamins in there. Liquid is best. It absorbs the highest. And it like if I go without it, I can feel the difference. I can feel the difference. I don't feel as strong, don't feel on my game as much. And so you've got to be getting minerals in your body. And so, I would encourage everybody to look into a mineral type of supplement to be getting that. You're not getting it in most of the water. Again, we purify the water, we strip it down of all the minerals. So you got to be getting that. Here's the last one for your health. And I when I talk about this pillar, I've become really clear on this over the last several years, and it's meditation. Okay. And when I say meditation, I know there's a lot of people, in certain backgrounds or religious ways of thinking and their cognitive dissonance on that. That's just, they hear the word meditate and they immediately associate that with another, or like an Eastern religion or philosophy or things like that. And the reality is I don't care what faith you practice, meditation is clinically and scientifically proven to improve your health, your physical health and your mental health. Okay. If you're like me, I'm a Christ follower. I believe that Jesus meditated. Okay. It says he would go away and pray, but there's also verses that talk about meditating. And for me, what that is just being quiet. Have you ever heard be still? Because I think there's a lot of people that pray, and they're always, asking God for this, asking God for that, but it's a one way. It's this one way communication, just you firing all these things of your needs, wants, desires, hopes, dreams, things you're dealing with. It's one way, one way, one way. Well, I really believe that you should get alone and be quiet and be still. And how about listen? Okay. What if God has some things he wants to tell you? What if, okay, whatever your faith system, whatever your belief system, I believe there is power when you get alone and be quiet and be still and listen. Okay. Close your eyes, slow down your breathing. Tell the body, no, I'm not going to answer that text message. I'm not going to scroll that social media. I'm not going to check this, check that. You're going to be still and you're going to sit here and be quiet and focus on your breathing and relax and listen. And so, what are those things that maybe God is wanting to share with you or reveal to you, but you're not listening? You're not having any quiet time for yourself alone to listen and hear. And if you listen to a lot of the greats, I don't care if it's athletes, I don't care if it's people that have produced some of the biggest movies in the world, people that have written books, produced different types of arts, or accomplished all these things, almost all of them will tell you that they meditate. Okay. They get alone, they're quiet, and they listen. So that will change your life. Meditation is proven to even change physiological, where if you've never heard of him, Dr. Joe Dispenza does a lot of the latest research on meditation, where they hook people up to all these electrical devices. They can even measure brain waves. And guess what? All these fight or flight symptoms of stress subside when people meditate. So add these things into your life, and you're going to see that your health is going to go to the next level. And when you're paying attention to your health going to the next level, your mindset will follow. Your belief will follow. Just like as you focus on your mindset, health will follow and belief will follow. When you focus on belief, your health and your mindset will follow. It's all connected.